Okay, it's 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Time for, hopefully, the first of many scheduled streams coming here from DCBFX. At this point, we have nobody here, which is cool. Like that's fine. You know, it's not like I do this for that. It is just, yeah, it is what it is. So, yeah. So anyway, there's a few things I wanted to talk about. And, you know, I just thought it would be cool to do this on like sort of a weekly basis of you know, how to do this. And where did my dock go? I just lost my streaming dock. There it is. So, a few things I want to talk about, just things that have happened this week. And a few other things have hit since I got this all together. This is interesting. I'm at almost 3 years of doing this. And for the last almost 3 years, the way I do it is I come up with an idea and then I film it and I go into Final Cut and add effects and go everything and to get it all done, polish it, send it to YouTube, and done. Well, streaming, flip that 180 degrees. Basically, you have to figure out what you're going to do, and then you get everything together and go, and you put it all there so it's all there. So this has definitely been a learning experience for me. Also, too, I'm thinking that maybe 3 o'clock EST is not the best for me because I leave work at noon. So I spent 2.5 hours sort of figuring, well, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And now here at 3 o'clock doing it. What I may do, depending on, you know, whether people actually tune in. Now, I know, too, with streams, it takes a long time for them to catch on. I know that my friend Larry and Dr. Price, John, and Dan have been doing their series Star Trek for, you know, for a year now. And, you know, they're getting decent traction on it, but it takes time to get that going. So this is just something I'm going to be doing on Friday afternoons. And if people watch it and chime in, great. And if they don't, great. That's great too. It is what it is. And I'm just going to do it because I like doing this. So anyway, first I'm going to get into, we'll just sort of bring this across. And if you're new to the channel, or you're new to seeing this here, and you know, you just have you found me because it says, hey, someone's streaming, someone's going live, hey, why don't you check this out? If you could give me a like and a sub, I would really appreciate it. But yeah, neither here nor there. So let's get down to what I want to talk about today. Now, there's several things I want to chat about in regards to this. I thought I'd put you on quiet. I didn't. Now you're on quiet. Dumb watch. First thing I want to talk about is Black Adam. Now, I'm not talking about Black Adam, the movie. What I want to talk about is what we're looking at right, where am I pointing the right way? Right there. 39% critics. 90% fans. Same thing I pointed out, oh God, close to a year ago when Chappelle's The Closer came out. The critics hated it, and the audience loved it. Now, I have no horse in this race. I will see Black Adam eventually. Like, I'm a huge comic fan, as I've said. If you're new to the channel, you don't know that, but I'm a huge comic fan. I've been collecting since I was 7, so it's 48 years worth of collecting, and I know of Black Adam. I have the entire run of the Justice Society, well, not the original, but the one that came out, you know, back in the 90s, and I love that. It's a great thing. I love Dr. Fate. The Hector Hall character was fantastic. Also, really a big fan of the new Dr. Midnight. I really enjoyed Infinity Inc. when it was out in the 80s, and it was out right around the time of Crisis, so it was a great story, and then Crisis came and started had to jam it all together, and it really suffered for that, but it was good. So a big fan of Hector Hall, Fate, and Dr. Midnight, and a few other things that were very cool about that as well. Anyway, Black Adam, you know, anti-hero. He's had a few things that have come and go on. I read, you know, in the 52, he had a big part of it with, you know, ISIS and Osiris and all that led to, you know, where's that countdown? And one of the weekly series that DC put out. So I wasn't going to run out and see this movie. I think the last movie I saw in the theaters was Endgame. So it's the last thing I saw, and it was, okay, yeah, good, because I want to see the end of that saga. But the rest of it, have I seen anything in the theaters? I don't think I have. So this is something I'm going to wait and see. Let's see, Thor, Disney Plus, Doctor Strange, Disney Plus. Yeah, so it's been a long time since I've been in the theaters. I have no desire to go out and see this in the theaters. The way that the cycle is working now, it's going to be DVD and it's going to be on, streaming before oh, it's out already? Jeez. That's what it's going to be. So that's sort of the post-pandemic reality of everything. There may be some movie that comes out that I want to go see in the theaters, even Guardians, and me, huge Guardians fan, Star-Lord, love Star-Lord, great character. Yeah. So I'll see it eventually. I know all the beats of it, but I just find this whole thing so hilarious where you've got the critics are like, oh, this is a piece of garbage, this sucks. And then the audience like, okay. So it almost, begs the question, what exactly? The critics? Why? And I made this joke when I did my thing on Chappelle. It's a joke right out of History of the World Part 1, Mel Brooks. Big fan of Mel Brooks movies. After the birth of the critic. Oh, sorry. Let me get this right. Hang on. Here. After the birth of the artist came the inevitable afterbirth of the critic. And that's what it's looking like these days. Whoa, didn't check all my boxes. I don't know. No stars. Yeah. So anyway. Also, in that vein, I don't have a thing for it here, but just on yesterday, or I guess the day before, I saw it yesterday, was the trailer for the Guardians Holiday Special. That looks like a laugh riot. I was explaining to my wife and the kids about what it's going to be, where if you haven't seen it, go out and check it out. It's pretty funny. Star-Lord's feeling down just because of everything's gone down. Gamora's gone, everything else going on. And Kraglin goes, I checked an old Earth calendar, and it's almost Christmas time. They go to Earth. And the funny thing is featuring Star-Lord, Drax, Mantis, Kraglin, and introducing Kevin Bacon as Kevin Bacon. So it looks pretty funny. We'll see how that comes out. That, well, again, will be something I'm going to pick up on stream. I'm not going to go out and see that. Anyway, next thing about this is, now, Doctor Who. Big Whovian fan. I started watching Doctor Who at the Third Doctor. I remember watching that when I was a kid, and I was watching old black and white TV, which at that point didn't really matter because most of the things were made for black and white anyway. And I watched the Third Doctor die. I went, what? But it's, what? And then he regenerates in the fourth. And, oh, because I was a young kid. I was watching this on PBS, I guess, PBS-ish, up here in Canada in the 70s. So it became the fourth. I started watching the fourth. I watched the fourth turn to the fifth. And I sort of got away from it for a while there because around that time I was, 16, 17, 18, 19, chasing girls. Because that's what you did back in the 80s. I got away from it. I did see in the 90s, the early 90s, I saw the movie that Fox had done with the BBC, the one that had Paul McGann as his one-shot doctor and Eric Roberts as the master and all those things. And it was okay. It was okay. And then it sort of died and didn't really have anything going on until we got Chris Ecclestone. Chris Ecclestone was a breath of fresh air. That was fun. It was a great series. And I'm watching it and we got to, okay, this is good. Doctor Who's back. Now I like this, like where this is going. It's, he's kind of a dark past and everything else. And then he dies in the last episode and regenerates. I'm like, what? One season? Are you kidding me? And I didn't know until I started looking into it later on that was the whole deal. He said, I'll do it. I don't want to do long commitment. And, he's done some other things. He got into Heroes and other things. But, did not like his Malekith in Thor Dark World. Like, what's the point? But anyway, so then Tennant came. I love Tennant. I thought the Tennant years were phenomenal. I love them. And it was so great watching them. And then we got to the last year where we just had the specials. I had them on my shelf for like a year. I don't want to watch the end of time. Much like the 10th Doctor said, I don't want to go. I didn't want him to go. And also, I'm a huge fan of Captain Jack. I don't have my right shirt on. I have my Arc Reactor shirt on today, but I don't have my Captain Jack shirt on. But big Captain Jack fan. So that whole era I really, really enjoyed. So Tennant moved on and we got Smith. And I watched Smith eventually. It didn't warm to him. Didn't warm to the 11th Doctor. I also liked when they did the Doctor, he was 900 years old. And suddenly in Smith's run, I'm 12,000 years old. How do you add that extra without just in a passing? I didn't like that. It sort of really, again, he's Gallifreyan, so he really can't be dehumanized, but it dehumanized the character and it just made it kind of, And then we finally regenerated in Capaldi, and that was fine. It got so identity politics and like little dumb things like, is the future all female? Oh, I sure hope so. And then we're just checking boxes and got to the 13th Doctor. Okay. I watched a couple minutes of her show and I went, I don't care. I really don't care. Yes, we have a white man companion and he's an idiot. Oh, great. Again, this is just hearsay. This is what I've been hearing on the interwebs. I didn't watch any of it. I just couldn't be bothered watching the 13th Doctor. So then I heard through friends, through YouTube, through everything about the regeneration into the 14th Doctor. And there's certain things that just, I didn't like about it. I only saw clips. I only saw clips of it. So I saw the 13th Doctor regenerating into the 14th Doctor. Now, and that's fine and dandy. In the past, we've had Tennant leave, and Smith shows up in his clothes, and Smith leaves, and Capaldi shows up in his clothes, and Capaldi leaves, and 13, whatever, what's her name? I just don't care. Jodie Whittaker shows up in Capaldi's clothes, and now Jodie disappears, and Tennant appears, and his clothes change. What? Yeah. Anyway, what I didn't like about this, and this again is through things I've read. I don't really care about the regeneration. I don't really, Tennant's back for a couple episodes, and then I don't even know how to say the guy's name. It's spelled NQD, Ncuti, it's Cindy, whatever. I don't know how his name is said. And now we're getting, from what I've heard, a black gay doctor. The doctor's really been kind of asexual, other than a bit with Rose, but he's kind of been he's there. He's sort of bigger than humanity, bigger than sexuality. He just he's doing things because he wants to help. And that's one thing. But the other part that really bugs me is they did a thing in the current run where there's this child who dies and regenerates. And this happens way, 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 way in the past. And someone from Gallifrey, which is a very dying, society, figured out how this worked and injected it into themselves, and they started regenerating, and they brought this to the Time Lords, and the Time Lords started to generate, and they gave them, a limit on 12 generations. I thought it was a dumb idea. I didn't like it, and it sort of took a lot of the mystique out of it, but that's what they did. And well, okay. Then in this latest one, again, from what I have heard and read, is it turns out that the first child that they used to get this generation power from is the Doctor. To me, the Doctor was a renegade from his people. He went out to save people because that's what he wanted to do. He found the Time Lords to be kind of hoity-toity and just, we're going to rule over time. And he's like, I'm just going to go help people because that's what I want to do. Now he's this huge mythic character. He's the beginning of all of it. Ruins character for me. And I just, hopefully Russell T Davies gets things back on track. Maybe he'll come through and, we'll pull a Dallas. It was all just a dream. I don't know. There's very little goodwill left for me and for a lot of people for Doctor Who. Some people I have watched YouTube videos on, they said, you know what? I love Tennant, but too little too late. I'm not about to go down that path again. Doctor Who is sort of not anything for me. And I have the Tennant years on Blu-ray and I love them, and other than Tooth and Claw, but I have them and I'm just going to keep them, and it is what it is. So, that's where I'm at with that. Can you write yourself in the corner and then you just make it worse? And from what I'm reading, a lot of people are saying, what about this and this and this? Where's all the loopholes? You've just left them out, and who knows? The next thing, which actually I thought was kind of cool, which is came out just the other day, James Gunn and Peter Safran had been named basically DC's Kevin Feige. They're going to oversee it all, and they're going to bring it all together, hopefully. I like James Gunn's movies in regards to, I like his Guardians, his take on Guardians. I like the things he's done with it. He's got an interesting view. I didn't really see Suicide Squad. I saw bits and pieces of it. I don't care about the characters, so I'm not about to run out and go see that. It's on something, probably stream somewhere. I'm going to pull it down. Maybe I'll do that one of these days. I don't like any of the characters. I don't like Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. I don't like Will Smith's Deadshot, because basically it's Will Smith. He's not doing anything different from what I've heard. And that's my opinion. Will Smith, he doesn't really have range as far as I can see. And that's just my opinion. I'm allowed my own opinion. But I didn't like any of the characters, and I had no desire to watch it. So, yeah. But I think with him in charge, because from what I've read, Safran, he was like the director of Peacemaker, and Peacemaker was, from what I've heard, was good. I don't have any of these channels. I can't watch these shows when they're on. So, I don't have HBO. I'm up in here, Canada. I'm sure we have it, but I don't have it. So I haven't seen them, but I do like the way James Gunn has done the Guardians. I like the way he's sort of taken that and run with it. And I also think too, from what I've heard from other people, it's almost a big screw you to Marvel. Yeah, you tried to cancel me from things I said, 10 years ago, which I understand, cancel culture. Well, I understand it exists. I don't understand the impetus behind it, but I understand that it is there, and it's kind of like, yeah, well, you were canceling me for a while, so I'm just going to go somewhere else. Not taking his ball and going home, kind of going somewhere else, but just like, yeah, I'm good. Here's your Guardians movie. I will see you later. Goodbye. So we'll see where that goes. I know that's going to be a couple of years worth of planning and getting everything going. Like, it took 5 years to get everything going, so we'll see what happens with that. Yeah. And so to round this out is I want to talk about something. I love Star Trek. If you haven't seen this, anything from the channel before, I love Star Trek. I, for the last couple of years, have been really down in the dumps in regards to Star Trek because Discovery sucks, in my opinion. I've watched season 1 and part of season 2, and I'm slogging through it. And and Picard season 1 sucked. And I'm episode 3 of Picard season 2, and I have no desire to finish it. I'm going to, because season 3 is coming, but I have no desire for that either. And so it's just been a real down time for Star Trek. And then 3 years ago, this cartoon shows up, Lower Decks. What is this? And I wasn't a fan of the way they positioned it, because we have this rule-breaking character who, when we first introduced her, she slices the other character's leg with a bathlick. And it's like, oh, okay. Now, Beckett Mariner has grown on me. But it's all the other characters that have been so great. And then we got, season 1 was great, loved it. Season 2, great, loved it. Season 3 was great up until the Peanut Hamper episode. And I was talking with my friends, chatting with them during a serious Star Trek episode. And I went, it's a quintessential filler episode. And John Price was saying, why is there a filler episode? There shouldn't be a filler episode. It's a 10-episode season. Why is there a filler episode? So that one was kind of like, eh. And then we got to see episode 9, which was great, and a little bit of cliffhanger. And then we wrapped up this week, episode 10. It was great. It was great. So many things. A nice thing is they pulled it all together. This from there, and that from there, and that from there, and that from there. I have one problem with the reveal of the big bad, because I don't want to ruin it, but he says something about being an admiral and you've got to leave your mark, and he does things to leave his mark. But then we see a memory, and he's like lieutenant commander. So what? Weird. But I love the episode. I love the little callbacks to everything that went on in season 1 and season 2. It was really, really enjoyable. I watched it when it came out on Thursday. I watched it in the office, and then I came home Thursday night and I watched it again, because in the office I'm sort of distracted. I've got the, phone ringing, pause. Yeah, back to it and go. And so, I have to say this because I'm doing this right now. This is how much of a Star Trek head I am. That's how I'm controlling this stream, using Touch Portal and using the R something graphic. It's a graphic add-on that gives you basically the LCARS layout, and I can control everything. Everything I'm doing here, I can just turn that off and turn it on. I can do all that. I'm a Trek head, and for me, Lower Decks is so great. I'm really, really enjoying Lower Decks. It's phenomenal, and I'm having such a great time with it, and I'm just. It's fun. Now, Strange New Worlds was great this year. I thought it was really well done. Anson Mount, fantastic. It's so nice to see him after all the crap he got for Inhumans, and Inhumans just wasn't his fault. He was He did the role he was hired to play, and it sort of looked badly on him, but his pike is phenomenal. The pike hair, though, whew, that's pretty funny. But hey, he still got it. I'm at 55, and notice I'm a little further back, but still got it for now. So I really, really enjoyed that, and I think it's going to look great if we get a season 4. I'm sure we're getting a season 4. I don't see why we wouldn't. There's still lots of great ideas to go out there. I haven't heard anything that it's going to happen, but then, episode 10 just happened yesterday. So there we go. So there we are. What are we at now? It's a 20-minute stream talking about stuff I'm talking about. This is hopefully the beginning of things I'm going to be doing in the next little while. I plan to do it on Friday afternoons. Plan to come out and just sort of go and talk and maybe I'll get StreamYard working. I'll get a couple of friends to come in and we'll have a chat with that as well. But it's a start, and then just getting to doing it and doing it on a regular basis. I think it's going to be something that just gets to make it a routine. So I do my Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and then Friday afternoon, hey, it's time for a Holodeck, the Holodeck 5. Let's do that. And then one thing I want to say too, the Holodeck is just something just hit me. There were some things that I didn't like about what went down with Deck 7, and I just was, the less I said about the better, but I just thought, you know what, I need a name for this. I need to get something, and why not Holodeck? I do green screens, I do all these things, so why not just, add a Holodeck there? I didn't realize I need to turn this off. So here I am in the Holodeck, and we've got everything going on. So maybe I'll green screen the back out, and I'll do some other things, and I'll have some fun with it. But yeah, it needed a name, and Hailing Frequencies was taken because someone else has it. Now they've only have 28 subscribers, and but I don't want to sort of glom on them, and why not? In the Enterprise D, we have 3 holodecks. Why not Holodeck 5? Maybe that's what this is on the Enterprise F. There's Holodeck 5. This is where Barclay hangs out. So that is my stream for today. What are we at? We're at 22 minutes. So for me to talk about 22 minutes about anything that is kind of geeky, that's kind of fun. That's why I'd like to sort of have maybe some guests, and we'll bounce it off other people and see what they say. Because by no means am I ever going to do a gaming stream. I'm not going to have you come watch me play games. And prop making stream doesn't make any sense because prop making is long and laborious and it's boring. So there you go. So if you are seeing this afterwards, which you are because, there's one other person watching. Oh, hello, Steven. Sorry. I didn't see you pop in. There's something going on with my OBS. For some reason, the chat's not up, but I will definitely, I will have that come up later. Sorry about that, Stephen. I didn't mean to ignore you. But yeah, so I'm going to do more of these, hopefully. And like I say, if you're watching this afterwards, once it goes live, and you've got some comments like, hey, that's cool, but could you talk about this? Or could we talk about this? Or maybe this is a good idea. Maybe this, maybe that. Let me know in the comments, and I'll definitely will work on that, and I'll come up with some better ideas and to do things. And I must say, in the grand scheme of things, it's been a learning experience doing this. Now that I've got sort of the OBS figured out with how things are now, it's gonna be easier to add the pieces in as I go. And I do think I'm going to do more streaming just because it's a little more fun. And I've also got my new, my Wave mic. I have the Wave Mark LP. It finally came in stock and on a good price. It's just so perfect. So I spent yesterday when I got that, sort of getting my whole work area changed up a little bit. And it's very conducive to what I'm doing. So that's kind of cool. So I'm going to wrap up the stream now. Thanks to everyone who stopped by. Stephen. And hopefully everyone who's watching this after the fact is enjoying this. And like I say, any comments, questions, just drop it in or drop me a line, info@dcpfx.com, and I will answer you best I can. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching my little stream, and I will see you all next week. If I do change the time, though, I definitely will put it out and let everyone know I'm going to do it maybe 1 p.m. EST. So that makes it 10 a.m. Pacific, but I don't know who from Pacific is here, so there you go. So everyone have a great day, and we'll talk to you.